Hello everyone, my name is Lowko and welcome back to another professional match of StarCraft 2. Now what I got for you today is a Protoss versus Terran on Acid Plant LE. Spawning here in the bottom right hand corner of the map and playing with the yellow Protoss probes. He's from the United States of America. We have none other than Puck. And his opponent spawning in the top left hand corner of the map. He's playing with the red Terran SCVs. He's from South Korea. We are currently looking in the main base of Cure. Now Cure, he plays for a team that goes by the name of Jin Air Green Wings. Arguably speaking, the strongest team of all time in StarCraft 2. I mean, they've got players like, for example, SOS. He won the World Championship Series twice. They've got a player who goes by the name of Rogue, arguably the strongest Zerg on the planet. I mean, there's a couple of really good Zerg players, right? But Rogue also ended up winning the World Championship Series once. And they also have a little Terran player who goes by the name of Maru, who is widely considered to be the strongest Terran player and maybe even the best player in StarCraft 2, period, right now at this point. So it's pretty insane. Honestly, just having those teammates is gonna obviously make you a better player as well, right? Because if you get to practice in the same environment as they are, obviously you don't just get to look over their shoulder, but you also get to be part of their practice regimen. And even though Cure might not be quite as good yet as some of these names that I just mentioned, I mean SOS, Rogue, and Maru, they are phenomenal players. It is definitely one of those names you want to keep an eye out for. Now Puck, he is on Root Gaming. Root Gaming does have some impressive names as well. I know Hero, for example, is still on their team. I know that Hydra, I believe, is still on their team. There's a bunch of good players on Root 2. Personally, actually, I have quite a bit to thank Puck for. So I started making videos on YouTube in 2008. And when I first started making videos for StarCraft 2, it took a really long time before anyone started watching them. Probably like 3 years or so. It took a while. And it was actually Puck who first helped me out when he noticed my channel. He reached out and he asked if I would like to be part of the team Quantic Gaming. And he's one of the reasons why I ended up joining Quantic and eventually Mouse Sports, and how I got started, I suppose, with my own personal content, at the very least in a more professional manner. So I'm very grateful, and I'm really happy as well that Puck is as good as a player as he is right now in StarCraft 2, because he's definitely one of the strongest over in the United States of America. When it comes to playing the Protoss pieces, now obviously there's also Neep in the USA, who's widely considered to be the strongest Protoss player over there, but there's no denying that Puck is very good, and he's been playing a lot lately as well. It's cool to see. Alright, let's see how this goes. Ooh, I like this little trap. Oh, Cure, a little too good for that though. If he would have jumped up on the high ground, definitely would have been the death of the Reaper. Well, I say that. I was complimenting you, Cure. You weren't supposed to just suicide the Reaper into the mineral line. Regardless, that's actually quite nice here. Puck is hiding out a probe over here in the corner of the map. And he's also got a robotics facility already done and additional gateways coming up. Interesting. This could obviously, yeah, indeed be a little bit of an aggressive play. I mean, you can effectively give all Protoss units blink if you micro well enough with a Warp Prism. And just simply being able to put on that pressure when your opponent isn't aware of it is quite nice. Pylon also does go down over here. Curious to see how this is going to play out. Cure, though, in the meantime, is just simply macroing up a very standard army. Since he did lose that scouting information, he's essentially forced to go into a Cyclone. Cyclones are very good at just basically just defending everything in the early game. But obviously, with good micro, they are something you can take care of as well. But they're really good because they have that anti-air attack. They are very, very strong when it comes to fighting a handful of gateway units as well. And while when the armies get bigger, usually Cyclones sort of fall off. There's no denying that it's absolutely phenomenal for early game base defense. You can see right now that Cure is kind of forced into playing a little bit more defensively. A single Viking patrolling back and forth right here, trying to see if there's maybe a Warp Prism coming up. Now there is a Warp Prism. However, it is a little bit further away, and it looks like Stalkers are going to be the name of the game right now for our yellow Protoss player. Now there's no blink on these Stalkers. There's really not that much economy here for Puck either. If you look at that production tab, ooh, big pickup there. If you look at that production tab, you can see that he's not really producing anything. Finally queuing up some probes once again. But the Cyclone there ended up going down, and that's a really big deal. That's gonna make this defense a whole lot harder here for Cure. Already forced to pull a bunch of those SCVs off the mineral line. They are no longer mining. The Observer there giving all the vision that that needs to be given here. Beautiful force field as well. Really gonna get rid of a whole lot of those workers very, very quickly. The Micro is good, but that Liberator eventually is forcing some of those units backwards. Now, the Liberator also ended up dying. That force field, by the way, is preventing a lot of SCVs from repairing up the bunker. But judging by what this is looking like right now, I think that Cure should have this one defended. Great scan there, by the way. He also got the kill on the Observer. But with the siege tank coming out in just a little bit, I think that he should be able to hold here. Once again, though, that force field is hurting quite a bit. Marines forced once again to move forward. Great little bit of Stalker Micro here as well. And these force fields are making it extremely difficult for that bunker to be repaired. 4 SCVs end up going down, but now with the siege tank in position, I think that Puck may very well be forced to get on out of here in just a little bit. Second tank will be coming out as well. Here's the Liberator. There's no way that Puck is going to break this, but Cure definitely ended up losing a whole lot more than he is comfortable with. 5 SCV kills here in total. Now, you gotta keep in mind, Protoss slowed down his own advancement and his own tech quite a bit to be able to pull this off. But at the very least, the Terran player has been contained here for the time being. But good hold right there by Cure. Now, the Viking eventually once again tasked here with trying to shoot down the Warp Prism. Beautiful play though by Puck. Manages to get the kill right there on the Prism. And he's just gonna try and see what value he can get. He's not really expecting to do a lot of damage, although if those SCV... Oh my god, these Marines are super low. Yeah, if these Marines are just simply gonna walk in there and they're gonna try and see what damage they can do, yeah, there you go. Just warp in a couple Adepts or a couple of Zealots, even better. You can start going to town right here on those SCVs. They're gonna be great when it comes to killing whatever is possible. And that's all just due to the fact, man, the Warp Prism is providing so much value. That's all just due to the fact that the Warp Prism can pick up units at a distance. Love this hyper-aggressive style here from Puck. Looked like he was actually gonna move across the map, but I think he has decided that he doesn't want to go ahead and do that just yet. Instead, we do see a second robotics facility coming up, as well as a robotics bay. So Puck does have the option right now to start producing Colossi, or for example, Disruptors, or even Warp Prism speed. I know he loves his Warp Prisms. I remember back in the day, Puck was actually going for a lot of like Colossus inside of a Warp Prism kind of styles, and it was surprisingly effective. It turns out if you don't know that a Colossus is out and, you know, it's inside of a Warp Prism, it can deal an awful lot of damage. But there's no denying that Puck is a big fan of the Warp Prism in general, and you can see why that is, right? Effectively giving all these units blink. It's beautiful. Disruptors, by the way, are going to be the name of the game. Ooh. One Liberator trying to get in there. Not quite gonna happen here for the time being. Third base has now been acquired here by the Protoss, and while Terran doesn't have a third yet, I think he's gonna be getting one here in just a little bit. And yeah, I think at the same time, Cure is likely gonna be making a bit of a move out across the map. Now this is gonna be lined up really nicely here with both Combat Shield as well as Stimpack. +1 infantry weapons, I believe, just finished up as well. There we go, yeah. So +1 armor here is coming up for those Terran biological units as well. This Observer will reveal exactly where the Terran army is moving, though. You gotta keep in mind, those Disruptors are out. Stim is done. Combat Shield is still a couple seconds from finishing. And just the Disruptor alone is already very scary here for Terran, obviously. You can micro against it, but it's difficult to go ahead and do so. Look at the amount of vision here, man. The patrolling probes are pretty much everywhere. That's really quite cool. Haven't really seen this very much, but I guess it makes it easier for, yeah, for these Stalkers to kill incoming flying units, right? If there's a Medivac full of units, or for example a Liberator, they should be scouted relatively easily. Concussive Shells is now also coming up, but we see quite a lot of Disruptors already. That's 3 Disruptors at this point in time, and 2 more coming up. Blink will also be finishing here soon. Quite surprised with the pace at which the Terran player is playing right now. I really thought he was going to be a little bit more aggressive. Obviously, that is a difficult call to make. Liberator right now distracting some of that army here in the back. It is going to be able to get at least a couple of those worker kills before it goes down, but that's not really value you're looking for. At the same time, though, Cure is now splitting up his units. Sending a lot of reinforcements right here to the right-hand side of the map, while still having that army right here on the left as well. Couple of free units do get picked up. One Stalker and Zealot, it looked like, were the ones to go down there. And a lot of those pylons that were placed carefully by Puck all over the map are now being picked up as well. I think he feels relatively comfortable, though. Puck, that is. for moving across the map. Because the thing is, he's got so many disruptors, you can keep this Terran army at bay for a really good amount of time. Kyordo just simply sending all of his units across, right? If that War Prison was over here, I think that Puck would be able to do a lot of damage. Instead, I think the War Prison must have gotten sniped and he has not found the time to remake it at this point. Very careful play here by Kure. Now he knows, of course, that there are Stalkers inside of the main base. He needs to be careful. One Medivac here does manage to unload some of those Widow Mines, and that's a nice pickup. Looks like Protoss is not responding. And that is 6 probes right there. Pretty solid amount. It looks like two of the Widow Mines just barely do not get away from there. But Kure is still just simply sitting out on the map. I always get a little anxious when Terran players do this, when Disruptors are out. Maybe it's because I've personally played a whole lot of Terran games and I just don't pay attention to my army and this kind of stuff happens. Oh god, no. Oh, man. Oh, I literally was just bringing it up. Thank you, Puck, for showing me why I get anxious. This is the kind of stuff that Terran nightmares are made of, okay? That was an awful lot of damage that was just done with a small amount of these Disruptors. Once again, you know, they've got their Purification Novas. They can continuously deal damage, and that is some value right there. Woo! That entire army was essentially slaughtered with just a handful of these Disruptors, and I think one Disruptor may have gone down, but that is most definitely the value that you're looking for. Not bad whatsoever. That's why I get anxious, okay? I'm glad that Puck showed us why I wake up in the middle of the night in cold sweat thinking of Disruptors. Once again, though, nice little bit of micro here. Kure, even though he just ended up losing a pretty big chunk of his army, he still ended up getting ahead here in the supply count. Nice little bit of micro here. Very risky player by Kure, right? The way he's maneuvering his army is really careful, but then the drops are... You know, he's lost a lot of units inside of the main base of the Protoss already. These drops are definitely capable of doing something, but... This is still a little bit of a risk. Blink is being activated. One Medivac does get killed before it finished unloading. Still, Marines and Marauders, of course, very good, in particular with Stimpack and Combat Shield, and of course the upgrades, and then the Medivacs up in the sky. One Disruptor, though, can definitely change the tide of battle. At the same time, we do see that Protoss army now moving across the map. A couple of Marines there do end up dying. Big blink forward, it looks like. Puck is gonna try and take out the third command center before the Terran player can respond. At the same time, we see a big chunk of that Terran bio ball making their way towards the third base of the Protoss. This base does look like it may very well end up going down as well. One Disruptor, once again, getting an awful lot of value. However, 15 probes have already gone down, but the Disruptors that were moving across have also decided to turn back around. The natural right now of Terran is under a huge amount of firepower. Puck manages to get the kill on that one as well. Does look like he wants to continue fighting, but ooh, mass recall just barely does not get pulled off. That means that Puck is gonna leave some of those units behind because the Nexus ended up falling before mass recall could be completed. Another base here has been acquired by Kure as well. This will be tried to get picked off as well. Great force fields once again. Puck is trying to get the kill before the SCP repair can get it. And it looks like the chasing bio army will just barely not be enough. Puck just simply getting on out of there, killing whatever he can. And that means that, well, we are in an interesting scenario. Both players have a very small amount of mining. Puck even more than his opponent right now, because he still has the second base. Ooh, nice little pickup there actually by Kure. Ooh, this could be really nice actually. Look at this. Gotta be careful, Disruptors do deal friendly fire. Don't want to blow up all your own units if you don't have to. Risky play there obviously, but it did end up paying off. The Stalkers though, oh god! The Stalkers managed to get underneath some of those Medivacs. And actually, another group of Stalkers moved on the left-hand side too. They're gonna be able to pick up all of those. That's a big deal. Puck not only managed to knock his opponent's economy back to the Stone Age, he's now also sniping a lot of that army for practically free. These Stalkers have been paying off, man. A lot of Protoss players have not been playing nearly as heavy Stalker as Puck is in this matchup. But his control has been on point here. Really nicely done. Kure, though, is still going for that very classic Marine Marauder Medivac based army. Those Marauders are definitely gonna be an issue, right? If this Terran army maxes out and it gets the engagement, it is gonna be having a field day against this Stalker Disruptor based army. This almost feels like a Protoss versus Protoss army composition from like 2 years ago. But oh my god, it's dealing so much damage. Once again, another command center there ended up getting sniped by the Stalker. And while some of that are, man, these Disruptor hits are looking really sick. I mean, Cure is trying his best to not lose everything, right? And he's doing a good job microing against all of the different units here and there. Another base goes down. But Puck's value that he managed to get out of the Purification Novas has been absolutely ridiculous. Now, I hope that you enjoyed this very much so action-packed Protoss versus Terran. If you did, make sure you hit that like button down below, and if you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get a notification as soon as I upload more. A special shout out to the Patreon supporters. Thank you guys so much for all the love. But for now, I want to thank you for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile alright. And I will see you once again in the next one.